Thank you. We'll call the public hearing for Monday, June 10th regarding the Entertainment District Bylaw in session at 3 p.m. today. So the public hearing regarding the Pilot Entertainment District, the following rules of conduct shall be followed during this public hearing. No person shall address council without their permission. No person shall speak more than once or more for more than 5 minutes. No member of council may debate the bylaw or item that has been the subject of the public hearing. Respect for staff, developers, council, and the public shall always be maintained, and any person who wishes to speak and address council shall state and spell their name and provide their municipal address for the record. Today we are holding a public hearing regarding the Town of High Rivers bylaw. That's your part. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just rolling here. I declare it open at 3:01.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. Today we are holding a public hearing regarding the Town of High Rivers Bylaw 4621-2024 and the Pilot Entertainment District, which had its first reading at the regular meeting of council on May 13th, 2024. Public hearings are held to listen to the public's support or concerns about issues before council votes, listen to public opinion on issues with large impacts on the community or property owners, and to meet the requirements of the Municipal Government Act.
So we'll begin with Jocelyn, presentation from admin.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. In December of 2021, the Alberta government passed the Red Tape Reduction Implementation Act, which amended the Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Act to allow for the creation of entertainment districts. Entertainment districts are specified public areas where adults may consume alcohol while enjoying entertainment options such as special events. There are restrictions that exist within an active entertainment district, including no smoking within the boundary. Disposable or recyclable cups must be used by the vendors to sell liquor, as glass is not permitted, and outside liquor cannot be brought into the entertainment district for consumption. Mobile liquor vendors are not permitted within an entertainment district, therefore existing licensed establishments are the only permitted vendors. Due to the spacing of existing licensed vendors in downtown High River, the recommendation is for the entertainment district boundary to be as shown on the map on the second slide. Thank you. And it would be activated by the special event organizer as a pilot program from July to December of this year. A-frame signage boards with the map of the boundary will be used throughout an active entertainment district to show where the boundaries are located. We plan to create a distribution list for all interested businesses, organizations, and homeowners to be notified when the district becomes activated. This concludes the presentation. Are there any questions from Mayor and Council?
Thanks, Jocelyn. Councillor Jones.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Would there be a cost to the event organizer to activate the event district policy, because there are things such as notifications and signage boards and stuff?
So currently we are not exploring charging the event organizers for activating the entertainment district. The only added cost that the event organizer may see would be we will require $5 million in insurance instead of $2 million. So there may be an added expense for them for that, but that wouldn't be through the town.
Councillor Barton.
Thank you, Mayor. Quick question. I was looking at the map that was, it's up there still. And we'd discussed this kind of behind the benches last time you presented. So, for example, P&H, they'd be outside the district.
So technically, the outside of their building is within the district. So the idea is, and same thing with the train car as well, they would be on the outside if you enter their premises, but once you leave, the intention is that you could purchase from them if they chose to become a vendor. And then once that you left their establishment, you're within the boundary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Counselor Nychuk?
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Just to keep going on, I guess I'll preface it with when we get to a point on voting of this thing, I'm going to recuse myself because I kind of am involved in part of the entertainment world. So I would not gain anything from this, I don't believe, but I will just respectfully step away when it comes to that point. But to Councillor Barton's indication, particularly P&H, they have an empty lot beside them that they may or may not use. I guess what we had talked about before was just making sure that we include those properties that they may have adjacent. If it's that hard line on the front of the building, maybe they have property beside them that they might utilize during an event, where they might put picnic tables or that kind of thing, that it might we might want to look at that, just to include those properties instead of just a storefront, that it's property that may be adjacent outside of that boundary that they might utilize for that purpose. So I would hate to handcuff a business that's downtown. So that's my only comment. Thank you.
Counselor Jones?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. My other question is, do vendors or the businesses get a choice to participate?
Yes, so we would develop an agreement if this gets passed, and the current licensed establishments will discuss with them on whether they want to become a vendor, and it would be their choice. We would also advertise whoever is a designated vendor within an active entertainment district. I can't see businesses not wanting to be a vendor, but it is a possibility that they might not.
Yeah, because it would be an added expense, I guess, for the plastic cups and stuff. And then my only other thought was, someplace such as Knee Deep, they have people who go in and drink and whatever, and go outside to have a cigarette. So in the event that this was going, they would not be allowed to do that. So that could be hard on their business too, right?
Yes, you are correct. And as I had said at the first reading, we did discuss with Alberta Health Services on whether or not you could have designated smoking areas within the district, and you cannot. So in order to smoke, they do have to step outside of the district. And that is a large limitation because the district is so big.
So then it would be an added, I don't know if an expense to have that being policed or watched as people smoking outside, right?
Yes, so we've had a lot of discussions with our enforcement team, and they are able to support events as much as they already support events, so it would be based on scheduling for them as well. The adding policing would be mostly from the event organizers, trying to ensure that everyone is adhering to the rules of the entertainment district.
So somebody doing the event would also hold the license for their like a liquor license for the event?
So they don't have to hold a liquor license. There is actually no added license for an entertainment district through AGLC. Okay. But the event organizer, because they're the one holding the insurance, they have to help enforce the rules of the entertainment district, which is why we're requiring more insurance from them as well.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Walsh?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. My questions are similar to that of Councillor Jones. Policing or bylaw. So when we bring a large group of people together over a larger area, and we give them all a drink, the potential for requiring these services kind of goes up. So how does that reflect on our municipal services, and can we support this, and at what cost?
I might ask Chris to speak on that, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Yeah. No? Okay. So to my knowledge, we have, again, I've discussed this a lot with the current existing enforcement team, and what we have spoke about is they can support the entertainment district as much as they currently support events. So the entertainment district would only be an added portion to our current special events that happen downtown. So our enforcement team would be helping as much as they currently do, as well as the RCMP The only added is the special event organizers would have to have the onus to try and enforce the rules within the district.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, just one other question with regards to the smoking in knee deep. That's it's very contradictory. What if the people at knee deep are not participating? They are in the district.
Yep.
And all the people that go there all the time and smoke out front, that's potential for, do we have any ideas? Because I'm sorry, I think it's going to come.
Yes, I agree. I think there'll be a lot of public education. It will be a struggle. I think it will be a large portion of the challenge for the entertainment district. Entertainment districts were also created with the idea that the space might not be as large as what we're looking at. So that if that is what we want, the hard part is that our current licensed establishments are very spaced apart within downtown. So that was where we went with the boundary. But the no smoking is a portion of the entertainment district.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councillor Kinghorn?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. With respect to Knee Deep, they have a kind of a fenced-in area around the front end of their building that they've used since COVID, I think. Could that area be cut out of the entertainment district, that portion where it's fenced in, and that's where they could allow their people to be able to go and smoke because it's not part of the district? Is that a consideration?
That hasn't been, but that could be.
That might deal with this problem there, but then again, you look at the other establishments in the downtown core, they don't all have that, so yeah, I get it. I just wondered if that could be a consideration. Thank you.
No further questions. I have one. Who's asking for the, are the businesses asking for this, or is this a town-led idea?
Town-led.
Thank you. Councillor Barton.
One other question that came out of something that Jamie Kinghorn had said. So if there's Knee Deep has a patio, but let's say another establishment in the downtown core doesn't, do they still need to go through the process of getting a permit to have a patio or anything like that if they choose to have a patio and explore that option? Like, they're just so that I think I know the answer, but just so it's clarified.
So to be clear, you're saying without an entertainment district, do they have an option to have a patio like Knee Deep?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I got a bunch more questions, but I'm going to wait till second reading.
Thank
Let
you.
the public hearing go. Thank you. You're so welcome. No further questions, Jocelyn. So, is there anyone present that wishes to speak in support of the bylaw? Is there anyone that wishes to speak that's opposed to the bylaw? Faye, you can come forward, please. Just get you to say your name and spell your name, please, and your address, please, Faye.
Hi, I'm Faye Mascher, Mascher. I live at 124 7th Avenue Southwest, which is not in the district, but it's very close. And I just want to start by saying thanks to Jocelyn, because she's been helping me all the way along here, keeping me informed, and I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. I don't have a lot of emotion invested in this. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, really. It looks to me like whoever thought up this idea in the provincial government was thinking of something like Bourbon Street or, the Red Mile. We don't really have that here. We have little pockets of entertainment district. And as Jocelyn said, it doesn't work here because the licensed establishments are spread out. So in an attempt to make it fit here, we've got this great big area, includes downtown, includes people living there, people's doctor's offices, funeral homes, restaurants, drugstores, all kinds of things. Where are the people that live in the Nichols place on 6th Avenue, 5th Avenue going to go to smoke? Are we going to cut out an area for them? They live there. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's not an entertainment district. So then I think, okay, So it's a little difficult. So then I go back to Craig's question, who's asking? Why? Why do we need this? It makes sense for the car show. I talked to Lori Kohler at the venue, and she said, man, the policing was just terrific. Last year it was so hard keeping people inside their location at the car show. So if this was an entertainment district, that wouldn't be an issue. People could wander around and drink, and to me, the car show, that's a good example. What else is an example that actually covers our whole downtown? Santa Claus parade, maybe? I don't know. But the way it's set up now, if Knee Deep wanted to have something and activate the entertainment district, there could be an event there and the whole downtown could be open to drinking. That's how it's set up now. Because a special event is defined as an event that restricts typical public access to the public realm. So what does that mean? An alley is closed or, you know? So that's my problem with it. Doesn't really make sense. I don't think the shoe fits. There's a few little details I was happy to hear Jocelyn mention. When I read the bylaw, it said that the CAO may impose terms and conditions. It may relate to insurance, public notification, signage, and cost of cleanup. I think that's great. If you're going to require $5 million insurance, I think that's necessary if an operator is going to be responsible for some big event that has people drinking all over the downtown. But I don't see that in the bylaw as it's written right now. I think that would be good to add. I think that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Anybody have a question for me, or?
I don't think so, Faye. I think
Okay.
you're hitting some great points there, so.
Okay.
no
Thanks for
questions from
listening.
council. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Jocelyn, can you help me? The whole concept of the government's idea of, you can drink, but you can't smoke. Like,
Yep. I know you made the joke about the Reduction Act last time.
yeah, fitting it into the red tape reduction. I
Yeah.
don't get it, but anyway.
So Red Deer has an existing entertainment district. It's on Ross Street. They basically have 4 restaurants side by side, and then they have an outdoor public space in front of it. That's one example. I believe Edmonton, is that the other one? Yeah, Edmonton has another one. And when we had first started exploring this, we did think that mobile businesses would be permitted. So the idea would have been to potentially have one street. The issue is that mobile liquor vendors are not permitted within an entertainment district. So to shut down one street, we would really be limiting the businesses that we allow the opportunity to. So that is where it went further. We also explored potentially doing the park area. Enforcement was a little bit more worried about enforcing such a large area where there's a bit more open space. That's kind of the circle of where it went. Yeah.
But does the government give any rationale to, have a solo cup full of whiskey, but, you can't light your dart up? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Alberta Health
AHS.
Services was adamant that people know that they can't smoke where they can drink, which surprised me, but I'm not a smoker, so I didn't really associate the two. But they basically said anyone that knows that there would be an area that they could smoke in an area of entertainment, they know that they can drink, but they cannot smoke. So they are used to finding the areas, which is why I asked about the designated areas, but you have to step outside the district.
Yeah. Before I swallow my whole head right in front of you, I'm going to move on. Councillor Kinghorn.
Thanks. One more question. Since this is a town-led thing, have we talked to the individual businesses that might do this in the downtown core? And if we have, can you enlighten me as to their response? Are they planning to do this once a year, 10 times a year? What are their feelings about an entertainment district?
So we did do a survey with them, the same way that we did the survey for the public, and all of them were interested. They wanted it. It was positive feedback from them. This wasn't coming from them, though. And I will say as well, a connection with the Red Deer Entertainment District that is ran by their Downtown Business Association and not by the municipality, but it is in partnership with the municipality.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Anyone else opposed to the bylaw that wishes to speak? Is there anyone else deemed to be affected by the bylaw that wishes to speak? Jody, you've got a couple letters.
Yes, thank you. So I have 2 letters. The first one is from the High River United Church. Dear Town of High River Mayor and Council, we are ready to share with you some questions and concerns regarding the implementation of the Pilot Entertainment District Bylaw 4621-2024. We had hoped to present to you in person, but previous commitments have prevented us from being there. We would be happy for further discussion with any of you or the town staff if you wish. The bylaw has come to our attention because High River United Church is located immediately adjacent to the boundary of the proposed entertainment district, and one of the establishments which would be available to serve liquor that could be carried out is immediately across from the church. We are not against the proposed pilot entertainment district, but we do have some concerns and questions regarding its implementation. Number 1, according to the map shown to us by Jocelyn Dunsmore, the entertainment district, when in operation, would come to the sidewalk in front of our church, but not include our church. Will businesses and facilities such as our church, which lie just outside the border of the proposed entertainment district, be given sufficient notice when the entertainment district is in operation? Knowing that people might be moving around the downtown area with alcoholic beverages may impact what events we choose to hold at the church when the entertainment district is activated. Number 2, how will the boundaries of the entertainment district be monitored and enforced when activated? If, as we understand, the district boundaries run up to the sidewalk at the front of our church, we can imagine a scenario where someone might decide to wander onto our property with their alcoholic beverage and perhaps out to the picnic tables behind our church. While we are not opposed in principle to the entertainment district, we would not want people drinking alcohol on our property. We are not confident that signage alone would be adequate to ensure that people honor the designated boundaries. Related to this, we wonder what impact might the activation of the entertainment district have on our insurance. Number 3, when the entertainment district is activated for a special event, would typical public access by vehicle be restricted in the designated entertainment district? If we happen to have, for example, a wedding or concert rental at the church, which are often booked a year ahead of time, would we be limited in access to our building because we are along the entertainment boundary? If so, how much notice will be given regarding the restricted access? Other events where road access to our church is restricted are annual events such as the Little Britches Parade, Santa Claus Parade, and the Show and Shine. And we can easily ensure that we do not book other events for those dates. Short notice on restricted road access may create a difficulty for us. Thank you for receiving our questions and concerns. Then I have a second email from the Museum of the Highwood. And it says, I don't have time to go to the public hearing regarding the proposed entertainment district. I have seen 2 maps. One has a hand-drawn red line around it that delineates the district and cuts out the museum along the deck, and the other has the museum disappearing altogether. I am not opposed to the district by any means, and we have no intention of serving or selling liquor from our station, from the museum or at the station. I am concerned about the impact it would have on the museum during the events that are chosen by event organizers. As you know, the museum is a prime place for people to come during all downtown events, whether it be for information, to just hang out and relax on the deck, or to use the washroom. How would we handle it if someone wanted to bring a drink onto the deck or into the museum? Would we have to post staff around the deck to tell people with drinks they can't come on the deck? Would we have to tell someone with a drink that they can't come into the museum? Would we have to have signage done and hope it will deter people from the deck and therefore the museum? And what about our liability? These are questions that need to be asked. Thank you.
Thanks, Jody. Any further clarification questions from council? See none? No further questions. I close the public hearing at 3:25 p.m. Thanks, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll call the regular meeting of council to order at 3:25. Whoa, right, you had, it's right there.